Я уже забить все, пересылать вообще не буду. Я только стриму. Это уже все. Это на совсем. Опа! Он когда раздал, это мы развалюха. Жесть. Да, блин. Ну, понятно. О, какой.
Dr. G recognizes the liquid immediately. It's silicone, and there's lots of it.
What's up?
The Kim has silicone breast implants that are leaking. Except for clinical trials in breast reconstruction, silicone implants have been banned in the United States since 1992, but they're easily obtained in other countries.
Whoever actually just gently press on the breast and the silicone will pull into the body.
Понятно.
He makes the classic rubbing incision over the
Чего, блин? Много тормашками.
It's immediately obvious that Kim
Это странный. Потом... Да, блин, такой, думаю, другой странный.
the silicone is seeping from the body itself.
The silicone is under tremendous pressure.
In a desperate attempt to augment her breast on the chin, Kim has been participating in
О, это... Ё-моё, развалюха. Ё-моё. Все вообще нет. Вот. Сколько? 24. Вот. Вернулся. О, вот это бы раздолбаха.
This is a procedure that's
Ну, вот это жесть. Займите ты развалюхой.
silicone itself isn't automatically harmful.
Oh, no, it's not those other places. Deeper than at that point, hunting over where that silicone fit. And
Это
it
бредовый.
still
Вот это.
The normal number
Опа. И еще какая-то. Что это за... модель? Не понял. Том или... Непонятно.
And what's silicone going to do to the organ? The silicone is keeping that organ from getting worse and oxygen from
Да. Сколько? 400. Это действительно большой.
inside her own body.
It's not suffocation and she's not getting enough oxygen.
400.
Not getting enough oxygen. It's
Такие большие.
into where it's supposed to be.
А тут такой самый.
Investigation complete. Dr. G is down.
Я вот этот.
The
Такой самый.
Kim's head.
Том и Джерри. Вот ему эту развалюху. Там такую домину, это жесть. Стен вообще нет. Там, короче, пол стен вообще нема. Да.
Kim's breast. While Kim has repeatedly undergone the procedure with no ill effects, in a procedure,
Это надо
at some point during the procedure, silicone is forced directly into Kim's bloodstream.
Whether it's due to massive aspect of air pressure being just pumped in so hard, or maybe they even actually maybe hit a vein or vessel or artery. They're getting up to the vessel.
А, две качели.
It doesn't kill Kim right away, but when it enters her bloodstream, it triggers a chain of events.
What's killing her is that her cells
А окна.
so they're not getting oxygen because the silicone replacing the kills.
As she agreed to be taken to a hospital, Kim's life may have been saved, but she refused.
Одну сюда, два сюда. А наверх. Они...
probably a lot of
А
it.
снизу...
Most of it. The idea of going back to that is worse than death.
А,
Although the circumstances of Kim's death are unique, for Dr. G, there's a broader lesson to be learned about taking risks with the human body.
интересно.
I mean, injecting silicone in your body. It's
А,
one
блин.
more mutant way that happens.
Блин.
Customers can now instantly use free Zecco for fuller coverage. A 2 once better than 1 which means more choices. More quantity to make us. Big library.
А, блин, а.
And more instructions. 2 networks. More coverage from us. 2 throughput. The nation's network.
What words do I live by?
Наверх.
Through hardships themselves. With
Ого. Ладно. Ого.
Indian soul. Experience, attention, expertise of what check and trade of creating a feeling little is right with you. And if you don't notice it, well, that's right. Running for keeping to it. Search check. Not the That's us. That's the week sorted.
Master, we're always working to roll back the cost of your weekly shop. That's why we've got plans to roll back the cost of store and online. That's good for this value. That's the price.
Сюда и туда он еще. Ладно, снизу на низ, потом наверх.
The Satan is such potion. That's the worst hospital I've ever been in. And these theories run from carbon monoxide poisoning to accidental overdose. But Dr. G's shocking findings threatened to turn a community upside down.
It was very low secret at the beginning, but I was going to feel people about something very out.
Then, a 25-year-old pregnant mother of 2 dies within a week of checking into a homeless shelter. Can Dr. G wade through a long history of abuse and poor health to discover what killed this woman so suddenly?
Unbelievable. This is Edwin.
Altered lives, baffled political mysteries, shocking revelations. These are the everyday cases of Dr. G, medical examiner.
Ну еще.
Just to remain objective, to get the facts and uncover the truth. But sometimes your findings are not what people want to hear, especially when they come from the most unlikely of suspects. On January 6, 1995, a call comes into San Antonio's 911 operator. A man who reported that his group of baby was turning. First on the scene are the paramedics, who find the tiny body of 5-year-old Timothy Gutierrez on the couch. He isn't just moved, he's dead. They note that the oldest is already 7 years. Sergeant Peter Evans is one of the first police officers to arrive on the scene.
The scene is atrocious. It's the worst hospital I've ever been in.
95-й, о!
Food everywhere. It's it smelled like there was just trash in the house. It was pitiful. So we had to focus on trying to stay focused on what we were doing, was to investigate this death.
А, Джерри! Это... Том и Джерри.
Two different families.
We soon found out that there was 8 children, 4 adults living in the house.
Emergency personnel on the scene are alarmed by their findings, but the situation is even worse than they imagined. Just as the police begin their investigation on the infant, the man who called 911, Rick, informs them that there is yet another body in a back bedroom. There, lying on a mattress is a second dead child, Renee Alicia, Timothy's 2-year-old sister.
She lying on her side, vomiting. Next to her,
Something in this house is killing children. A feverish hunt begins. Is it a poisoning, gas leak, or could they have overdosed on medication?
you'll notice there are some medicines. That's all.
А вот приглашалось можно сделать.
Overdose. The children's medicine.
Ну, Джерри.
But after
Это вообще классно. Вот это, блин, дом. Вот это классно.
detective spot more suspect.
Смотри.
The house's heaters
So we're concerned that maybe there's a possibility of some type of carbon monoxide poisoning.
While emergency responders begin checking the house for carbon monoxide, the bodies of the 2 dead children are transported to the county medical examiner's office. Dr. G gets the call.
Initially, I was on call. I got a call from my investigator. We had 2 children dead in the house, and they were just carbon monoxide.
But from the circumstances, Dr. G is already skeptical about the carbon monoxide theory.
There was a 8-year-old house that didn't have symptoms, and another 8-year-old, 12-year-old girl was one of the children who was in that symptoms.
When Dr. G gets her first look at the 2 children, her suspicions are confirmed. They are obviously not victims of carbon monoxide poisoning.
As soon as I saw them on the floor, they had no evidence of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide tend to have a real cherry pink lividity, very common for me to see that from the other side of the room, and that neither is carbon.
After that, blood stops circulating and succumbs to gravity, proving at the dead body's lowest point. Normally, the pool blood will appear as purple or maroon on the skin, much like the color of a bruise. But when blood has been tainted by carbon monoxide, the lividity will appear bright pink. The normal lividity of the 2 children tells Dr. G that whatever killed them, it definitely was not carbon monoxide. The lividity of baby Timothy also tells Dr. G something else: how long the infant had likely been dead.
He had anterior lividity. It had been dead for a while. The lividity of where the blood pooled was fixed on the face.
The fixed lividity indicates to Dr. G that the baby was dead for a period of time, possibly several hours, before EMS arrived. But as she continues the autopsy, the possible time of death seems to be the only thing Dr. G can determine for sure.
Found absolutely nothing. Trauma
the pain was back.
It was very worrisome right from the beginning that I was going to be dealing with something very out here.
The infant's body fluids are sampled and sent to the toxicology lab for testing, but the results come back negative for any lethal substances. Under different circumstances, this case may have been diagnosed as SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. More of a phenomenon than a medical condition, SIDS is a diagnosis of last resort, one that is made when a complete autopsy, examination of the death scene, and review of the infant's clinical history reveals no other rational explanation.
On babies, we sometimes see that, and those are death syndrome if the circumstances are.
But SIDS affects children in the first year of life, so it's not possible in the death of Renee Alicia.
2-year-olds are very uncommon to die. You're past the infant death stage, and yet you're not dying unless it's an accident or an accident. So it's very uncommon age for us to see.
At first glance, Dr. G finds no trauma in Renee Alicia's body, but telltale signs of a difficult life are evident.
She was very unhappy. She had the worst sack of hemorrhoids I've ever seen in my life. It was just swarming in her hair.
Initially, Dr. G sees nothing to suggest how this 2-year-old may have died. But Dr. G's exam has just begun. A 5-month-old baby and his 2-year-old sister have died under mysterious circumstance. Police have a host of possible culprits: carbon monoxide, overdose, SIDS.
Tom and Jerry.
Theories are about to be thrown out. when
Tom
Dr. G
and
starts
Jerry.
suffering. As part of every autopsy, Dr. G examines the inside of the mouth to check for obstructions or other clues. When she opens the mouth of 2-year-old Renee Alicia, this mysterious death instantly becomes a homicide case.
What I saw were the impressions of her teeth separating the inner aspect of her lips. Not a bite mark, might be. You can't, it's hard to bite the upper inner aspect of your lip. They were impressions as if somebody had pressed something on a hand or a pillow at the same time. It was suffocating.
From the outside, there are often no markings to confirm suffocation. But pressure on the top of the mouth from a hand or pillow would create a linear abrasion from the lower edge of the teeth working inside of the upper lip.
Turn over the technical system. Unless you can tell me somebody did CPR on this child. And they said, no, nobody touched this child. Nobody did CPR.
She immediately told me this child had been suffocated because of those impressions. She was able to find that and rule homicide.
What's more, Dr. D is immediately convinced that the baby Timothy was also smothered, even though she found no teeth marks during his autopsy.
And this baby doesn't have any teeth, so it's very easy to suffocate it with robots. I said, most likely both of these are going to be homicide. We know the 2-year-old definitively is. By turns, the second ones.
We've got someone that was suffocated, at least one child, probably another. We have 2 dead infants at the same time. So the focus of the investigation at that time is who was the last individual.
With Dr. G's findings on hand, police are now on the hunt for a killer. The 2 suspects, the 4 adults who live in the house where the dead children were discovered. Topping the list, the victim's own mother, Mary. Incredibly, she'd already lost a baby under mysterious and strikingly similar circumstances 5 years earlier.
It appeared that it was some type of knee injury that the child died from. It was uncommon really how the child died from that injury with SIDS. It was really unusual. Parents have one child die of SIDS, then it is that occurrence. But then when you start having other children die of SIDS, then you need to look further into that. Because that usually means there's some sort of foul play.
And despite initial suspicions in this case, Mary is a rock-solid alibi. A neighbor recalled hearing 2-year-old Renee Alicia cry at the time the mother was leaving the house. So Renee Alicia was apparently alive the last time Mary was with her. For police, what at first seemed like a pattern of murder was only a clue of coincidence. Next, police focused their attention on Mary's boyfriend, Rick, the only adult present when the children died. He also discovered the body and called 911. His alibi at first seems unbelievable.
We just said that there's another half unless another option to do it.
Police are not buying his explanation. But then, they talk to a 12-year-old child, Victoria. She is the daughter of the other family that lives in the house. She confirms Rick's story.
When we put anybody else's name, that I was born in charge of the kid. It was my responsibility. I was the last one.
The
Yeah.
daughter goes on to tell police about her somewhat unusual role in the household.
Many times she was the primary caregiver. If one of the other children had a disciplinary problem, they did something wrong. Victoria was not taking care of it. She was in charge of those kids, but the other kids knew that Victoria got punished because the other kids didn't stuff. And that was just a sad situation.
Everybody described it as dysfunctional. There was a lot of neglect about the child, and including Victoria.
With all the adults in the house providing solid alibis, police turn their attention to 12-year-old Victoria, a girl who many consider to be a victim of neglect herself.
To me, it seems like their primary focus is they just seem to target her.
But from Dr. G's perspective, it's the how, not the who, that concerns her.
I felt strongly that someone killed a 2-year-old without a doubt. I don't know if it's Victoria, that's not my job. It's the police job and the prosecutor's job to figure out who did it.
San Antonio police question their chief suspect, Victoria Dalton, without her mother or lawyer present.
I think it was 6 hours, and it was quite a long time. She was not allowed to leave the room. Everyone in this child that had never been in trouble before. Never had any kind of problems with the law.
Victoria had not even been to the principal's office really in her school, so she had never been questioned by authorities or anybody in a position to intimidate her. She was a father's child, and mom was not in the
She was confused, she was distraught, and it was quite traumatic.
After 6 hours of questioning, Victoria admits that she suffocated Renee Alicia, but she insists it was an accident.
She suffocated the 2-year-old. She used a pillow. The pillow was found next to her. We've seen pictures.
But once Victoria has legal representation, she soon recants much of what came out after 6-hour interrogation and claims that she is innocent of the murders. When the public learns that the police suspect a 12-year-old girl for the murders, many in the community become incensed.
This was the very first case that we had a child of 12 accused of the murder. And so it really stirred a lot of emotion. We were kind of like vigilance. She was getting all kinds of letters of support.
So young.
That easy to be able to believe that she was wanted to support her.
Public opinion was that they forced that confession out of her. They had to prove her. They were sure that she was not the person that killed these children.
With the tensions high in the household where the children died, Victoria leaves and moves in with her grandmother, miles from San Antonio. Meanwhile, police continue their homicide investigation.
The thinking at that time was to let her go home, continue with the investigation, and we would just present this to the district attorney and let them proceed with the case at that time.
But then, investigators get a disturbing phone call from Victoria's grandmother, a about her dog. It seems it's dead.
The grandmother saw Victoria playing with the dog's throat and asked Victoria what she was doing. Victoria replied, "I was looking at the dog's throat." And then several hours later, she asked Victoria, "Where's the dog?" Victoria said, "Well, I don't know." And so, amazingly, they looked in the living room and found the dog wrapped in blankets, and the dog was deceased. So at that time, the grandmother said, "I don't want Victoria's house anymore."
A little bit, too much to go without concern, even to the grandmother notified the detectives of this fact, and the detectives notified me.
Proving that Victoria strangled the dog may be a critical link in establishing a deadly pattern of behavior, but the grandmother's story won't be enough.
What about coverage? And automatically the three networks for more coverage. Two networks available online, which means more training, more finding your mates, friendly library. More catch-up. And more distractions. Two networks, more coverage from us. The Nation Network. That's us. Yeah. That's why I do that.
That's the week sorted.
Master, we're always working to roll back the cost of your weekly shopping. That's why we've got thousands of rollbacks across the store and online. That's good, honest value. Yeah, that's your price. Something different.
Listen to
Hybrid reinvented. Nissan Qashqai, new e-power, defy ordinary. Do you still suffer from teeth satisfaction pain? Let's change that. Switch on Relief as instantly as a click of a switch with Colgate Sensitive. Its unique technology repairs sensitive areas of teeth for instant pain relief and long-lasting protection. Switch to Colgate Sensitive from the #1 brand recommended by dentists.
Dr. G has ruled the death of 2 small children homicides, and police have put a 12-year-old girl, Victoria Dalton, at the top of their list of suspects. The challenging confession, obtained without the girl's lawyer or parents present, is their only evidence, until police receive a strange call from Victoria's grandmother, claiming that Victoria has just killed her poodle. Now, the fate of a 12-year-old girl charged with a double murder hangs in the balance as Dr. G attempts to discover what or who killed the family dog.
This is the first time that I've ever heard of an autopsy being done on an animal to see if it had been murdered in any way.
I am a poodle expert. So I found 2 experts in veterinary medicine. One was a veterinary pathologist, one was a veterinary radiologist, and we all did the autopsy together.
And it won't be easy. Dog anatomy differs greatly from that of humans. Dr. G's objective? To determine whether the dog died of natural disease or of trauma.
Part of the autopsy is to show the negatives, the fact that there's nothing else wrong.
Ruling of natural causes will add considerable weight to the authorities' contention that the dog's death is part of an ongoing pattern of violence.
We found no evidence of any mental disease. The dog internally, although it was 11 years old, had nothing wrong with it. Had some hot dogs and a little foil in its stomach, but other than that, nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong until they inspect the canine's mouth. Dr. G sees a minor, but possibly telltale injury.
The extent of the injury which suggested the suffocation was, at the time, those injuries were very similar to the lethal injuries which led Dr. G's opinion as death and suffocation because of internal injuries and external injuries.
After the incident with the dog, prosecutors feel that even at 12 years old, Victoria could pose a danger to those around her. She is arrested on the charge of the double murder. Many of the citizens of San Antonio remain convinced of her innocence.
There was a strong bias for Victoria without knowing a lot of the facts. Somehow they got the person or my findings were wrong. And I just can't, to me, I have to ignore that part. I can only go with the facts that I have with my investigation that I've done.
Medical examiners, there's a perception that they are there to work for the state. I mean, they may be paid by the county, but their opinions are not paid and bought for.
Victoria Dalton's capital murder trial opened in October 1995. For the prosecution, the task is daunting. How to convince a jury that a 12-year-old child is a murderer without any eyewitnesses and no clear motive?
God would have told her to kill Alicia, and then to go back and literally hold her hand on the back of the head of the infant and hold him down into the couch sufficiently long enough to suffocate Victoria without any vision in there still.
But the one thing that the prosecution does is the testimony of Dr. G. It will be the most crucial part of the state's case against Victoria.
When you're talking about shooting cases, I'm thinking that's the kinds of cases. Is it an accident? Is this accident? Or is this intentional? What are the other circumstances? It's not always just about that cause of death. It's all the surrounding circumstances. It's the forensics of it. That I'm taking with their part of to look at the investigation.
Testimony was violent. It was an integral part.
On the stand, Dr. G describes the complexities of her operations and why, in her opinion, both children were suffocated.
We have a clear evidence that this was inside the 2-year-old with the marks on the inside of the lips. But I didn't have any marks on this baby. There's no reason for the baby to be dead. I can't call this sins because I have the 2-year-old dead at the same time. And so these two were both homicides. And because it is so easy to suffocate that baby without leaving. And I clearly have one of them very suffocated. That is, it's kind of hard to get that over to the jury.
This is a case where we needed desperately to have a jury understand the medical examiner's testimony is critical.
The courtroom listens to Dr. G with rapt attention, especially Victoria.
She was the most intense defendant at the trial I have ever witnessed. She hung on to every word I said. She was just looking at me and was fascinated by what I was saying.
After 3 weeks of grueling testimony, the case goes to the jury. They are left to consider the prosecution's chilling account and decide whether Dr. G's testimony proves that Victoria suffocated
with the children or not. It takes the jury only 5 hours. Victoria is found guilty of capital murder.
Went ahead and convicted her.
She was found guilty.
I think the most remarkable part of this case is that a jury was able to, after weeks of testimony, decide on her guilt that she had committed the capital murder within hours.
Although the jury finds Victoria guilty of a capital crime, they give her a compassionate sentence of 14 years out of the maximum of 40. Victoria is sent to the care of the Texas Youth Commission, and there she served her sentence until 2002, when she was released into a transitional home. During her incarceration, Victoria admitted that she had killed both Timothy and Renee Alicia, and expressed deep remorse. She is now on her own, trying to put her childhood behind her.
She is the type of person she's going to make the best out of it. And I think she has.
If Dr. G hadn't uncovered the subtle sign of suffocation indicated by the impression of Renee Alicia's teeth, and made the connection between that death and the murder of her grandmother's dog, the murders might have gone unpunished. It took an objective eye for Dr. G to get to the truth, no matter how inconceivable.
Had Dr. Garibaldi not ruled homicide, we wouldn't have had a case.
Dr. G, she's just an extremely valuable resource to have.
Every death that passes through the Orange County Medical Examiner's Office has a story to tell about the life that was lived. A life shortened by illness. A life lived long and well. A life whose death might have been prevented. For Dr. G, it's those deaths that could have been prevented that are in some ways the most tragic, such as the case of Veronica Murphy. "25-year-old Veronica Murphy has fallen on hard times. She's just ended a reportedly abusive relationship, has been evicted from her apartment, and is desperately looking for a new start. She turns to a local Orlando homeless shelter for assistance. She arrives at the shelter with her 2 small children, one 6 years old and a 4-month-old infant. She tells the staff that she's expecting another baby in 7 months. She also informs them that she is suffering from ovarian cancer.
One day she just sat down and told me, went to the doctor and said it cancer is spreading. About it.
In spite of these liabilities, the staff quickly learns that Veronica is a formidable woman, determined to put her troubles behind her and make life better for herself and for her children.
The rest of us are very impressed with establishing self-sufficiency and identifying her Them looking make a fresh start, you know, like, cause understanding that was her point of moving to Orlando to get on her feet.
But just 6 days after she arrives at the shelter, Veronica's world comes crashing down.
The early part of Saturday morning, her son came around and didn't believe that he was careful, saying that mommy was She was very insistent that her children were taken care of. She was reassuring to the children that mommy would be okay, would be right back.
She couldn't have been more wrong. Before even arriving at the pier, Veronica is dead.
Where's she been? The first thing came to my mind was the cancer.
Unfortunately, no one knows for sure what killed Veronica Murphy. Her body is transferred to the Orange County morgue for answers. At the Orange County morgue, about 1 out of 15 bodies autopsied is classified as homeless. Homeless
homeless cases present special difficulties for a medical examiner because most homeless victims lack medical records. The search for the cause of death can be like looking for a needle in a haystack. But the case of Veronica Murphy is an exception. Though homeless, she does have medical records available for Dr. G to review.
Well, this morning we have a 25-year-old black who is short of breath, complaining of some back pain, and she's living a coalition of homeless. She does smoke, drink, or use drugs. She's not employed. There's no proof here. He lives up to
The records, however, are not complete and leave many questions about Veronica's health unanswered. 25-year-old Veronica Murphy dies while seeking shelter at a homeless facility with her 2 small children. Now Dr. G must figure out what killed her. Was it the ovarian cancer she mentioned to the shelter staff, or something yet to be uncovered? Because Veronica Murphy reported that she was fleeing domestic violence when she arrived at the shelter, Dr. G will pay close attention to any signs of trauma from such abuse that may have led to her death.
Okay. Here's double pierced on the side. Keloid.
But apart from pierced ears and a scar, there is no external sign of any abuse. But Dr. G does take note of Veronica's weight.
She is morbidly obese. She weighs about 340 pounds. Very big woman.
A person is characterized as morbidly obese if they weigh more than double their ideal body weight, or if the person is more than 100 pounds overweight. Morbid obesity commonly leads to a catalog of dangerous medical problems, from strokes to high blood pressure, attacks, and accounts for more than 300.
There's a lot of different things going for her. She's high blood pressure. She's just had a baby, but she's pregnant again. Postpartum, cardiomyopathy, possibility, I guess, hypertension, maybe there's a bleed in her head. There's always a possibility of pulmonary embolus, blood clot.
With so many possibilities, determining how Veronica died will become a process of elimination for Dr. G, beginning with the internal exam. Using a Y incision to cut through the chest and abdominal cavity, Dr. G opens the body. Once the internal organs are exposed, she pursues the obvious first. If Veronica died of the ovarian cancer she reported to the shelter staff. Ovarian cancer is considered curable, but very difficult to detect in its early stages. For a woman like Veronica, who is on consistent medical care, the cancer could have easily progressed to a deadly stage without any obvious signs. When Dr. G examines Veronica's ovaries, she is surprised to find no signs of cancer.
There's a little cyst, kind of a thick-walled cyst in her other ovary.
It appears that Veronica's belief that she had cancer was unfounded.
You thought that she had ovarian cancer? Yeah, we didn't see any evidence of it.
With ovarian cancer discounted as the cause of Veronica's death, Dr. G turns next to confirm whether or not Veronica was pregnant when she died. According to Veronica's medical records, she was 11 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. To confirm this, Dr. G must carefully examine Veronica's womb. It is a delicate process.
Trick is to opening it up without breaking the amniotic sac. What we're going to do is open up through the birth
Much like the external examination, Dr. G must inspect the fetus in the amniotic sac first to make sure nothing is amiss before she moves on to autopsy the fetus itself.
we opened up, trying to maintain the integrity of the amniotic sac. If the amniotic sac was maintained, we could see the fetus inside the amniotic sac. We know it's about 2 inches long, and from that we can get a general estimate of the gestational age, and it
proves that Veronica became pregnant only 1 month after she gave birth to her youngest child, a 4-month-old infant. For Dr. G, this raises a red flag. When a woman is pregnant, her total blood volume may increase by as much as 45%, causing blood vessels to enlarge and engorge. Along with this increase in blood volume comes an increase in the danger of clotting as the body prepares for the loss of blood during labor.
Pregnant, increase your estrogen level.